Vanakkam and good afternoon. Sounds more like a school, but I'll take that. In an increasing world of machines, where we speak about artificial intelligence, quantum computing, big data, cloud, and whatnot, I'm here to talk something beyond that. What is it that defines you and me as we move to the next 100 years of not just human existence, not just sustenance, but evolution? If you're comfortable, can I ask this audience to quickly stand up? Take your right hand, raise it, and wave in the form of saying hi. Wonderful. Close your fingers and show the thumbs up sign. Wonderful. Take your left hand, while you drop your right hand, take your left hand, keep it on top of your head, and give it a nice clockwise motion. Keep doing it. You're doing good. Thanks. Take your right hand and place it on your tummy and give it a clockwise motion again. You're doing good. Let's do both in synchronization. The left on the head and the right on the tummy. Wonderful clockwise motion, absolute synergy. Move to your right or left. Face the person to your right or left. And ask this simple question, what the hell am I doing? Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Thank you. This is exactly a question I asked myself in the corporate run. As an HR professional, dealing with people, dealing with mental issues at the workplace, day in and day out, what am I doing is a question that I asked myself, and that's where the journey of HR Sangam was born. A few days back, my son asked me, Appa, is your next manager going to be a robot? I laughed, I paused, and then I thought, perhaps yes. Am I ready for it? I don't know. Will it become a reality? Perhaps. How do I deal with it? Well, let me cross the bridge when I come there. There was some confidence because of experience, but there was also skepticism. At the intersection of technology, human capabilities, and today's fast-paced world lies a beautiful emotion in all of us that's niggling us, and that's called human anxiety. It is this anxiety that is putting us into a race of just blindly following what the world is wanting us to do. There is a new trend, we follow it without questioning it. There is a new technology, we embrace it without asking questions. We go on and go on and go on until we realize, you know what, I think I'm burning out, I need a break. I'll come back to the HR Sangam story. Life was good, earning well, typically dealing with people issues at the workplace. The subject of trolling, in other words called HR professional, dealing with lots of people. But then there was this question, where am I with regard to the industry? How am I doing fine? There was this constant need to learn. Budgets were hard to come by. The economy was just going through a recession. Companies were not willing to spend on budgets. And then I said to myself, how do I continue to learn so that I keep pace with the skills that the world demands? And mind you, when the world was talking about technology and pouring billions into automating processes, experiences, and overall HR systems, here I was looking at trying to upgrade my skills. I went to a retired commissioner of labor and said, sir, I need to know a little bit more about labor laws. I find it very boring reading it in self-paced manner online. Can you help me with a one-on-one? He laughed and said, son, I appreciate your enthusiasm. It's really great, but you know what? I don't take tuitions. I said, what do I do? After a day, I still went back to him and said, sir, can we find a way how I can learn from you? I've decided to learn from you. I just have to make you decide to teach me. And then he said, get me a batch of people. Get me a group of learners, and then we can talk about this. Well, in a time when WhatsApp was still not introduced to the world, I went about gathering all my friends and said, hey, you know what? I am going to talk about a program. Would you be interested to learn? People were ready. Price, time, certification, these were considerations of taking a decision. I managed to mobilize about 40 people. And, well, what is the biggest challenge when you have a group of people? You need to give it an identity. And thus, I had to name it as a confluence of minds coming to learn. Confluence in Sanskrit translated to Sangam. Thus, HR Sangam was born. I said, sir, your batch is ready. Can we start the learning? We made it into a 2-day training program. At the end of the day, people need validation, people need recognition, so we had to give a certificate. So we put the name, we gave a certificate and said, here are proud learners. Now, what was the bargain? Well, enroll 39 and get the 40th free. So I happened to learn as a convener of a group of learners while paying nothing and then getting to learn. It was a great business idea, but the idea was not to make business. It was to learn more. Learn not just one-on-one sitting in the confines of my room or sit somewhere in a classroom where commuting takes more time than the class as such. We said, bring them together in a particular place and then learn at convenience, unbridled. Ask the questions that you want. Let knowledge flow without boundaries or barriers. When people come together, we just can't keep to ourselves. We need to ask questions. We need to connect. We need to network. So we found that there was a thriving community of people that came together to learn. So what did we do next? It was a hit. We did one more program, another program, and another program. Days went by, weeks went by, months went by. We had our jobs to do. The weekends were for learning. We brought different themes, different speakers, different topics, different certifications. In about a decade of our existence, we realized we had impacted 10,000 HR professionals across Tamil Nadu without spending a single rupee on marketing ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, that is HR Sangam for you. An aggregated community of knowledge sharing and networking, bringing people together. And why HR people? HRs are the biggest influencers in organizations. If we believe that we could curate the culture in a certain manner, then there's no stopping. We brought all the HR people, taught them this is the direction so that we have healthy, happier workplaces when we go back. The result is, be it academicians, be it PhD scholars coming for research, be it students looking for internship opportunities, or fresh graduates looking for a job, young people wanting to make it big, veterans wanting to share their knowledge with the community, consultants looking for business, we created one thriving community, pretty much like how TED is. We bring people, make them listen to stories, and then go back inspired. Now, what is the other message that I'm telling here? In a connected world, not a single program of ours happened online. Not a single thing happened online. We believed that, we have to come in person to connect, to share, to enjoy the experience, the vibe, the aura of learning together. Right? It is easy to manage machines, but it is extremely difficult to manage mindsets. And to do that, you need to bring people, give them the experience, and say, in a fast-paced, evolving digital world, it is still good to be connected. There is a LinkedIn, but there is a link between you and the person seated next to you. And that is the power that will drive us into the future. There are self-paced programs to learn. There are opportunities to network. We can boast of so many connections on our social media handles. But if you can't make 10 meaningful, quality conversations with people, learn together, grow together, contribute to the community, what are we talking about? I'm reminded of a story of this saint, right? There was a saint in an ashram, and every day he had a bunch of sishyas for whom he had these meditation classes. He kept conducting these classes, and there was this black cat that was roaming around and causing a little bit of disturbance. And the saint said, can one of you tie this cat to a pole with a rope? And there is a reason why I'm giving these specifics. Every day when the class started, one duty assigned to Shishya would fetch the cat, tie it to that pole with the rope, and the class would conduct seamlessly without any disturbance. We continued doing it for weeks, months, and years, and one day the sage passed away. Another Shishya took over the mantle to become the next head of the ashram, and the classes continued. They continued the practice of tying this cat. One day, this cat died. And the new Shishya who was appointed this responsibility of ensuring discipline went around the forest looking for a black cat, bringing it, tying it with a rope to that pole, and the classes continued. Generations passed. The ashram became a cult following. So many sages, so many Sishyas, so many people learned and grew together. But then wherever this session happened, wherever the learning happened, the practice was to find a black cat, tie it to a pole with a rope, and then say, you know what, this is the custom that we have built in this cult. Do not get into the trap of just embracing machines, technology. We live in a connected world because at the end of the day, question technology, understand what impacts you, what you need. If you remember the last time that a manager or a person played and impacted you very well, and on the other hand, remember a technology or an app that you used, you will remember that the technology or the app fits your hands well, but it is that guru or that influencer who would have filled your heart. The language of the heart, the algorithm of empathy is far greater than any blind belief in the technology, like how the black cat was tied time and again. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a connected world, a world where humanity must exist, empathy must thrive, and technology must be subservient to mankind. At the end of the day, be in the here and now, relish every moment, live healthy, happy. It's a great place to be in this world. Let's create the future together with technology supporting us and we reigning supremacy without anxiety, but the glory of writing the evolution of mankind for the next 100 years and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. May this confluence grow, may our ideas grow, and may we continue to contribute to the society. Thank you very much.